are an interfaith gathering.
There we go.
And there was sound. Usually my voice carries pretty well, but maybe while I was interflecting a lot, and so maybe it wasn't vibrating as well. We are an interfaith gathering, a spiritual community that honors all teachings and all spiritual teachers. And now we begin the ceremony that celebrates this oneness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths come for the one universal presence, which we call spirit. Our candlelighter this morning is Mr. Rev Don Fleming. And so let us begin. The Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. Shamanic traditions honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of pristine spirituality. Hinduism honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Judaism honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. Buddhism honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. Christianity honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. Islam honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. New Thought honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. The last candle is the healing candle of love and of light and of peace. We invite you in the stillness of your own mind to bring to awareness the names of anyone you wish to be included in this healing flame of love and light. Now that our flames of faith are fully lighted, we move forward into our celebration, realizing and reaffirming that all paths lead to God. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you, Rev Don. Our reading this morning comes from Ernest Holmes' You Can Change Your Life, pages 7 and 8. The ability to attain your goals, to control your experiences and have them result in happiness, prosperity, and success lies in your own mind and the way you use it. This means you control your own experience. You are really in charge of your affairs and the way they are to develop. Let us sum it up this way. My thought is in control of my experience, and I can direct my thinking. And so it is.
It was a Thursday morning, and my phone rang really early. It was my brother. My mother had fallen, and they were taking her to the hospital. And he asked if I could go meet her there. I said yes. Six days later, and about 90 minutes after my mom died, I left that hospital. I went to my truck, and when I turned it on, the song, How Will I Live Without You, by Trisha Yearwood, was blasting. How can I live without? How do I get through one night without you? What kind of life would that be? Without you, there's no sun in my sky. How do I breathe without you? How do I ever survive? How do I live? My mom dying was the cherry on the top of the sundae, because my grandma had died, my dad had died, a good friend of mine had died, my dog died. I got laid off, and my girlfriend and I broke up. How do I survive? How do I live? Everybody breathe. And let's shift that energy. Let's take a minute. Everybody just kind of greet each other for a minute. Say hi to each other. Wave. A lot of people here we haven't seen for a bit. Well, good morning. You are so excited you walked through the doors on this day, aren't you? It is often said that if you want to understand your thoughts, look at your life. Like the gardener, you can only harvest from seeds that you have planted. If you're challenged with money issues, health issues, relationship issues, take a look at what your beliefs are about these things. Because you can only grow what you have planted. Yes? So, I have a question for you. What made you walk through that door the first time into this center? What brought you here? I can almost guarantee that nobody in this audience is going to leap up and say, I was having the best life. I had more money than I knew what to do with. My health is perfect. My relationships are outstanding. So I decided to go to church. Is there anybody here who did that? No. You usually hit the door like I did. I was angry. I was emotional. And I was the world's best victim ever. Man, I had that down. And I truly thought that that was how to live. I truly thought that that would bring me wealth, friendship, and love. Why? Everybody in my life has died. Want to be my friend? I'll give you the ending to that story. It didn't work. It didn't work. Imagine that. But today's talk isn't about where I've been, but it's where I went. Now, this will surprise you. I'm not somebody who can just read a book or listen to one talk or have an affirmation, and I'm going to get it. I needed a philosophy that was 7 days a week. I needed repetition. I needed to be around like-minded people. I needed a community that wasn't here to try and fix me. I needed someplace that was positive and uplifting. And I needed someplace where I was reminded of who I was. So what did I do? I did what we do here. I started taking classes. And more classes, and more classes, and more classes. And Kaleem isn't here, but my apologies to Kaleem. He was my first teacher. And I was just a pissed off poodle. I tell you, poor Kaleem got a dose of me every week. What do you mean I'm God's child? What do you mean I was meant to be here? No! My mother died. My dog died. Everybody died. No! And he would look at me honestly, he'd look me in the face, and he would go, yes. I'd be like, yes! What does that mean? And he'd be like, yes. It took me like 10 years to get to the point where I realized that he was saying yes. Yes. All of that and more was what God brought to you, which brought you to here, 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 which brought me to standing in front of you guys today. I mean, I am not that pissed off person who felt completely victimized and singled out by the universe to have the worst life ever. When I started taking classes here, I started to hear things like, change your thinking, change your life. What does that mean? There's a creative process, and I can use it. Here's a good one. You're a chosen child of God. What? What? If this is how God is treating the chosen child, I think I got the wrong God. And things like, to the universe, to God, I am always delightful. I had never heard that in my entire life. You are delightful. Yeah. And most of all, that there's a reason why I'm here. Yes, I was chosen. Yes, this was the set of experiences that I was supposed to have because there's something I'm supposed to do with this. There's something I'm supposed to do with this life, right here and right now. I could be the victim, or I could change my thinking. Now, I know some of you, a few revs back, we had Reverend Nancy, woman full of wisdom. And she used to say about classes, you limp in and you leap out. What happens when you take a class is you become a part of this community. I love teaching classes and I love watching people because a couple of weeks into class, on Sunday, everybody will start to show up and you'll see everybody saying hi to each other. Hey, Jessica. Hey, Shirley. Another couple of weeks and the class is sitting together, right? And by the end of class, they usually have been to each other's houses and have had coffee. But you create a team, a spiritual team of people who hear your story but aren't there to fix you. They're not here to change you. They're here to be on a spiritual journey with you. And as they witness your life, you witness their life. Now, as I said, for me, it took a lot of repetition. It took a lot of classes. It's still taking a lot of classes. This philosophy still challenges me every single day. But how I remember who I am and why I'm here is through, now I get to teach those classes. But I got to tell you, I would attend if I wasn't teaching. But it's like hearing those messages over and over and over again. I'm chosen. I'm meant to be here. The experiences that I have don't have to be, I'm a victim. I don't have to walk through the world angry. I don't have to get back at someone. And I don't have to just survive. I can choose to embrace life. I can choose to jump into life. I can choose to laugh. I can choose to have friends who support and love me to the end of time, who will show up at my door with chicken noodle soup or a dog leash. This might be hard to understand now, but there was a point in my life where there was absolutely no way I was ever going to have a dog again. Nope. You know, dogs die. Nope. Not going to have a dog. Of course, you all probably have met midnight. And so for 17 years, I had the biggest soul connection that I could ever describe. My heart beat outside of my body, and I experienced a love that I didn't know existed. And that happened because I came to classes, because I had people looking at me going, but you're all about dogs. That's who you are. That's who you love. Why don't you have a dog? Why don't you have a dog? Why don't you have a dog? Shut up! I'm getting a dog. And midnight came into my life. Judy, come up for a second. You guys all know Judy Wolf, the wonderful greeter. So Judy.
I'm coming. I'm slow.
Did taking classes change your life?
Oh, yes. I would say it changed my life, but I didn't realize how it changed my life until I got down the road a little bit and could look back on it and reflect on that and say, oh, aha.
And you started taking classes when you were like 76?
Something like that.
No excuse, you guys. No excuse.
Something
And
like that.
she'll be turning 81 soon.
Yeah, February.
Yeah.
I'm an old dog.
Would you take the classes again?
Well, I do.
I forgot about that. She does.
I keep taking, well, and we've had quite the relationship.
We have. Judy's in my life because of this place, because of taking classes. I'm ever so grateful for that.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Was taking the classes worth your time?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm taking the book study this time,
I saw that.
but if I weren't taking the book study, I would be taking a class.
Probably one of mine.
Probably so.
Thank you, Judy. Raise your hand if you've taken a class here. Stand up if you would do it again.
Standing.
Yeah. Stay standing if it helped to change your life. Those of you sitting, look around. Thank you very much. The classes teach everything from forgiveness to prayer to affirmations to the biggest thing is to become aware of what you're thinking. You drive down the street, someone cuts you off, and you do the universal salute, and you're the victim. Did you see that jerk and what that jerk just did? Nah, I don't do that anymore. I don't do that. And as a matter of fact, I don't do that anymore since the day my mom died, because I realized that after my mom died, for that next week, I drove around Anchorage and I have absolutely no idea how I got anywhere. And so I give everybody that grace, that I don't know what just happened to them. I was aware of what I was thinking and it changed it. And so now I do a lot of praying when I drive, mostly for everybody around me. But that's just a small example of every morning. Susan, you wake up. Michelle, you wake up. Aaron, you wake up. And you step into the day. And it's your choice of what that day is going to be. You decide whether you're going to drive angry or whether you're going to have the best time ever and get the best Starbucks cup of coffee that's ever been made. Gratitude. Have you ever tried this? You're really angry. I'm really angry. Let's say I'm doing accounting for my job now, and so I get angry when some payroll doesn't come in. But you can't be angry and be in gratitude at the same time. I didn't know that. I didn't know simple things like that. So now when I'm perhaps not as happy about payroll. I give blessings. I'm gratitude. I have a job and I'm helping to pay a bunch of people. How much fun is that? People like me at the office. Telling you. DNA. Do you know that it has been scientifically proven that you can change your DNA? I know. Huh, who thought about that? So you get your DNA from grandma and from mom and dad, and then you take your DNA and you pass it on to your children. But you can change your DNA. By changing your thinking, by changing your life, you change the chemical mix of who you are. Doesn't that sound like fun? I'd much rather be known as, somebody who tells really bad dad jokes than that pissed off, angry victim that I did so well. God, what a waste. What a waste of my life to be in that victim mode. But I understand that being there got me to here. It got me to that first class, and then to the next class, and to the next, and to the next. And before you know it, I'm a practitioner, and then you're really having to look at what you're putting out into the world. Remember that song by Coke, All the World Needs is Love? That simple commercial? What was it? All the world needs is love, more love. Does anybody know how that goes? Teach the world to sing. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. God, do they not need to run that commercial right now? Like, don't we need that on repeat? But the thing is even in today's world, where it seems like we have things stacked against us, you can still be that pillar that walks into the room and says, no, I'm here to enjoy life. I'm here to be loved, and I'm here to love. Because I got to tell you, that's a whole much better road than the road I was on. Oh my God. Now, you all have your pencils, right? How many of you on the first day of school were excited because you had the new pencil, you had the notebook, you had the lunch pail, you got a new outfit? Like, I wasn't so crazy about going to school, but I was crazy that I had all new stuff. Like, this is really cool, and I love pencils, like in sharp. Wow, these are so cool. Did anyone else have a love affair with pencils? Yeah, see, isn't that cool? And having a sharp pencil? Yeah. Yes. Well, I was going to say, the one amazing thing about this pencil, not only does it represent being new and endless possibilities, but there's also the eraser, which clearly invites you to make mistakes. Clearly, we are meant to make mistakes. My eraser was usually, I had packed those 12-pack of bigger ones with me. But how amazing is it that we're not supposed to be perfect, that we're not supposed to get it all the time, that you get to maybe say something or do something or whatever that the next day you're not quite sure that's exactly what you wanted to say, or that's who you want to be, or that's where you want to go. So you just take out the little eraser and you erase it. Everybody can do that. You just erase it and you choose again. You get to choose again. If you are not happy with your relationship, if your health is in need of some tuning up, If your financial health needs a shot to the arm, you can choose again. You are not your circumstances. Whatever's not working, take a class. We'll help you identify how to change that stinking thinking. How do I live my life happy? How do I create a family? How do I become someone who walks into the room that people want to see walk into the room? Because that's who I want to be. That's who I'm striving to be, not that broken victim that walked out of that hospital and for years obsessed on how do I live? How do I survive? Girl, I'm riding through the door on a skateboard, full of chocolate, ready to tell bad jokes, and to understand that my life is a buffet table. And I can choose the pasta, I can choose the pizza, I can choose the gluten-free whatever. No offense. Because I'm at choice. And at the end of every day when I go to bed, it's me who chose how that day went. Yes?
Yes.
How's that sound? So classes. Oh my God, we got classes. So we got 3 classes, we got a class for everybody. As a matter of fact, the 3 classes that are being offered, 2 classes and 1 book study, you don't have to have any prerequisites. Anybody can come to any of those classes. Now, if you're a person who wants to do Zoom, Tony's going to teach foundations on Zoom. If you're a person like me who wants to be in person, the Rev Don and I are going to be teaching the brand new class. This is the first time we've taught it here. Change your thinking, change your life. So it's kind of like foundations on steroids. So even if you've taken foundations like Judy and I've taken foundations like 7 times. Told you, I need repetition. There's something in that class, or there's something in the original foundations. And then, if you don't want to take a class, you just want to do a book study, Cindy George, Thriving. Who doesn't want to thrive? Is there anybody here who doesn't want to thrive? We can have a practitioner sit with you. But anyway, so this is your pencil to take home, because I want you to remember, if you walk out the door today, you're a choice. You're a choice. If something's not working, take a class. Take a class and remember who you are. A chosen child of God, meant to be here now, having this experience. How you do that experience is up to you. Yes? Yes. All right. Now, before I close out, I have to tell a dad joke. Are you serious? So, last night I dreamt I was a muffler. I woke up exhausted. Well, shucks. I'm going to invite my colleagues to join me in prayer, Aaron. And as you, a lot of you who know me know that I'm a fond, I'm so fond of Jane Beach, Reverend Jane Beach. And so I wanted to use one of her prayers as we close out this today. And so, as I step into this world of possibility, I step into this world knowing that I get to make choices. And no matter what my past has been like, fearful, unfulfilled, victimized, or shameful, I have the ability to choose a new future. Beginning with this moment, I can decide that I am worthy of a happier life. And I'm going for it. In each situation, I'll choose better than I did before. I don't have to do it perfectly. I only need to begin. I choose my destiny starting right now. If there's a dream I've been avoiding, I let it surface today, and I make a new start. For that I am grateful. So very, very grateful. And so it is this knowingness, it's these words that we simply release into the working of the law that always says yes. And I know that people will say yes to consider and taking a class. We are just so blessed. So please help me anchor this by saying, and so it is. Thank you so much. Back to